We all love a good sequel, right? Well, sometimes, not all sequels hit the same, but hopefully this one will. You guys gave this first video a lot of love, and I really appreciate the support on that video. So the people spoke, and they want this to be a continuing series. I also made a weirdest strengths video, so if you haven't seen that, I really urge you guys to, just so you guys don't see me in a light that is just all negative, because that's just far from the case. But anyways, NBA players with the weirdest weaknesses you never noticed, part 2. Javale McGee's goaltending. Javale McGee was pretty prone to generating some goaltending calls. He had long arms and was very athletic and was very much so active hunting for blocks to the point he would mistime them or commit a goaltending call. Javale was a good shot blocker. I think he was very hungry for those blocks, and sometimes it would really cost them with just being a disciplined defender. Wendell Carter Jr. shooting stroke just completely disappearing when the Magic needed him the most. Honestly, I could just basically say once you join the Orlando Magic, your jump shot will just be sketchy. The thing with Wendell last season is that his 3-point percentage really tanked shooting threes, going from 37% to 23%. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope also tanked his 3-point percentage. It's kind of crazy because they were leaning on him to be that main shooter for them, and it just never happened. Wendell showed a ton of promise, but he was just missing a lot of long shots. And again, the Magic really needed someone to be a consistent 3-point shooter. And it's great to have a 5 that can shoot the 3 ball, but this was a really down year for Wendell. Amari Stoudemire's slow-footed defense. Stoudemire was such a bizarre defender at times, not really executing defensive schemes with urgency. His positioning was off, but what always got me is that Amari was slow-footed as a defender. He had the athleticism to defend, but whenever he had to hedge or play in help, he reacted so slowly to what was going on the court, or moved slow to the point where he was never really a factor to really recover. It's a bizarre thing, and I don't think Stoudemire will be looked at as a big-time defensive player, but it's just one of these weird things I've seen with him. Russell Westbrook losing his free throw shooting ability and never being able to master the bank mid-range. From my understanding of this, Russ has been playing with a bad hand injury for years now, but the last time he shot above 80% at the free throw line was his MVP season, which was almost 10 years ago. A lot's happened in 10 years, right? Jeez. He has shot mostly in the 60s, and it's one of the weirdest nosedives I've seen, especially since he gets to the free throw line at a very good rate. Russ also had this bank mid-range shot, but the touch on that shot, it just never got better or became a consistent, reliable threat in his bag. He just overall has poor touch on the shot, either shooting very long or just completely missing everything. It sucks because I feel this shot would have saved a lot of his efficiency in the mid-range. Keonte George taking unhinged, off-balance, contested floaters. Keonte George has the green light with that floater, and he hasn't looked back on it. He shoots in the mid-30s from there, and it doesn't matter if he is fading away from the basket or he is being hounded by a defender. If he sees an opening, he is taking that floater no matter what. Hasn't been efficient, but still, it's an option. Pat Connaughton biting on every pump fake. Pat Connaughton has a weird tendency to just bite on every pump fake that is thrown at him. Like, this has been a thing for years with him, and it's just something he never really worked on. This man will literally be out of position biting on these fakes and just can't recover. And he gets faked out of his shoes in these situations, which is pretty funny when you look at it. Paul George having a step on his defender but settling for jumpers. I have always talked about this with Paul George, and yes, you can attribute injury to the low frequency of rim shots for him, but there are times where I see Paul George will string together dribble moves and actually have a step on his defender or gets by his defender, but he will somehow, some way, find himself falling back into a jumper. It is mind-boggling. The lack of getting to the rim really limits George's game, but he is getting older, and it seems like he wants to be more of a role player than a lead ball handler at this stage of his career. I can't really blame him because I would be traumatized if I had the leg injury that he had. So I get it. Dwight Howard, dynamic post-game / footwork. Dwight Howard's postgame for his strength and talent could have been so much better. He was solid, but his footwork down low was very robotic, and he didn't always result in a consistent source of offense. He didn't have many counters he could get to, and he was a rather poor passer out of the post. Dwight could get to that post hook, but oftentimes he wasn't really creating an advantage against his defender with fakes and pivots. Derrick White's inability to throw an entry pass. I love Derrick White, and I've seen the tape with him, and this is the most confusing thing I've ever seen, but the man, for the life of him, cannot throw a clean entry pass. Always off target or ends up in a turnover, and you could see when he messes up, you could really see he puts his head down like, damn, I messed that up again. Like, White does everything good on the floor. He is such a very good player. It's just this one thing that he cannot do is entry passing. It is bizarre. Dwight Powell getting hit in the face. I don't know if this is a weakness, but it just seemed like a weakness with bad luck. It's so constant that there's a Twitter account that tracks the times Powell gets hit in the face. It's just an unfortunate set of circumstances. Dwight Powell, the Maverick legend who will have his jersey retired, just constantly getting hit in the face. Now, I wish there was a parlay available on the odds Powell gets hit in the face back when he was getting consistent minutes, because I would have made bank by now. Chet Holmgren getting stripped when trying to change directions. Chet is back again on this list. And you know what? I'll say this for OKC fans. They will hype up a damn tree if they are on their team. And I saw when Chet came into the league, there was there was heavy KD talks of Chet. And I'm just like, can we please slow down the expectations on these young players? Like, relax. Dude is a great play finisher, but let's just slow down a bit with Chet. But Chet has this weird thing that when he gets going for a galler or a spin move, or really any change of direction move, the man just gets stripped. And to be honest, I think Chet is the perfect example of why, if you are a 7-footer and you have a damn good handle, that skill is so damn impressive, because it is tough for big guys like Chet to navigate in traffic with a handle. And then you got smaller defenders who can get to the ball. It is no easy skill to have a strong handle as a big dude. So I can't really blame Chet that much. It's only really a handful of guys like that tall with a really good handle. Again, I will say this: if you are a 7-footer and you have a handle, that is a rare skill, and that's a skill you should be proud of. The thing with Chet though is that stronger hands could help in this situation, but also a balance between high and low gallers when changing directions would also help. Josh Hart always dribbling with his left hand in transition and either getting stripped or missing a layup. Now, Josh can at times be a head case in transition. Generally, he is good, but sometimes he gets ahead of himself there. Whenever Josh gets a rebound or pushes the offense in transition, he always dribbles with his left hand in a straight line, but almost always will attack the right side of the basket. In these one-man fast break type situations, it can end rough with him smoking a layup or creating a turnover, just getting too ahead of the play and forcing up something. Tim Hardaway Jr. not swinging the rock. Nuggets fans, boy, do I got news for you. You traded Michael Porter Jr., but not the idea of the man, because now you got the 6'5" version of him. THJ fills that void of the hoop down there somewhere. So I will get my shots up. Everyone else gotta figure it out on their own. Very trigger happy, can be inconsistent at times, and as a guard, his handle also is really limited to just a couple dribbles, not really having a tight handle to dribble through traffic. And THJ really isn't an all-around plus playmaker. So you just get a guy who is ready to shoot the ball off rip no matter who is contesting him, and boy, you got rid of the man but not the idea. Whew. Draymond Green having no sort of consistent, reliable scoring moves in year 13. Look, Draymond is an amazing defender and passer, and I will always sing his praises with his technique, his IQ defensively, because he is really just one of the best defenders to ever play the game. And I get he isn't the main scoring option, but geez, man, not even a reliable, consistent 3-ball is in this man's bag. I'm just mad that the 3-ball just hasn't come around at all to be a major threat. I do think that man is teasing us, because once he sees Rudy Gobert, that dude just channels in his inner LeBron and starts cooking. I'm just sick. I just wish Draymond had more in his bag. And just to double down on that, there's just some players in the league where once they are guarded by a certain player or they are playing a certain team, their eyes just light up and start cooking. Like the stuff Luka be doing to Gobert and Zubats has to be rooted in pure hatred. I will not lie to you, because Luka just gets offended when those guys get switched on to him. The stuff LeBron James was doing whenever he faced Toronto was absolutely insane, that they started calling Toronto LeBronto. There's also Jamal Crawford whenever he saw Ray Allen, Darius Garland just going at Sam Hauser, Jamal Murray, and the Lakers. It's crazy because this man Jamal Murray will literally just be hurt. He's injured. They will say he's injured, but the Lakers come up on the schedule and just like, oh, I'm not hurt. OKC fans, I know they have nightmares about PJ Washington and what he has done to them. Russell Westbrook always turning up when he gets switched on Kevin Durant, seeking blocks at any point on him. I'm just going into another potential video topic, but let's just get back into the actual video. Michael Carter Williams being a very, very bad finisher at the rim as a 6'6" guard. MCW really had some poor finishes when he was in the league, at times just missing point-blank layups when he got to the rim. He wasn't much keen on absorbing contact, which led to some awkward footwork when getting inside. Like, this man has shot into the 50s and 40s% at the rim at different points in his career. Like, I can understand a small guard shooting in the 50s, but a 6'6" guy, not really. Deandre Ayton's inability to draw fouls, shying away from contact. I made a video of DeAndre and kind of bugged out in that video when I said DeAndre is an interior center who averages 1.5 free throw attempts a game. Like, dude, Yusuf Nurkic averages more free throws. Miles Turner averages more free throw attempts, and he is mostly a stretch 3. It's just a bizarre stat, but the most bizarre thing is just how DeAndre just shies away from contact at times. Like, with DeAndre's talents, he should be a constant 20 and 10 guy, but he barely gets to that. Devin Booker's inability to throw lobs. PSA to coaching staff, stop trying to make great shooting guards into point guards. It is not going to happen. Not every shooting guard is a James Harden, but this is a skill Booker just doesn't have great accuracy or timing on these. He has good vision, and this was noticeable when he was playing with Ayton, but he just cannot connect consistently on lob passes for some reason. Zion Williamson's archetype. Zion is the height of a shooting guard, has the weight and strength of a center, but has the touch around the rim of a Kyrie Irving, and no sort of shooting ability. But like, defensively also, he's in a weird spot because he isn't tall enough to consistently defend centers. He isn't light or agile on his feet to defend guards. So he is in a weird area where he should be a guard, but his play is more of an interior big. Just wacky stuff. That'll wrap it up for this video. Do you have any other NBA players with some weird weaknesses? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more NBA breakdowns like these. And with all that being said, I'll see you all in the next video.